for sure this is against the Kiddush. This is against the Kiddush test. It's very obvious is that every year the Alter Rebbe used to write another. Against the Kiddush test is from Tavkuf Memches. It's earlier. He used to write another letter about tzedakah, and he would always add divrei Torah, as they say to us. They have so many letters. Alter Rebbe. Basically, the against the Kiddush is supposed to be all of the Chassidus of the Rebbe b'ksav yad. Because the Alter Rebbe did not write his own Chassidus. He said, Nigla, he wrote the Chuvas and the Shulchan Aruch. But besides for the Tanya, he didn't write. So they collected all the Ksav that the Alter Rebbe wrote himself in Chassidus. And this was once a year, Chassidim got a Maimeh B'L'Sheni Azov and Alter Rebbe, which the Alter Rebbe used to write B'Kesh V'Dim from the Tzedakah. So this is the Geras HaKedesh test. And it looks like most of it is Taka here. It doesn't look like there's anything really that's not in the yeah, he just adds a few words. This letter is the whole thing. This is from Tavkuf Memches. In other words, this is B'Chayav yet from the Mendel HaRadoka. Before there was Machlekes and the Narishkeit. So let's begin to read it. Geras HaKedesh tests. Yeah, this is a very straightforward Geras HaKedesh with from giving to Tzedakah. And as we know, the Alter Rebbe felt that we can no longer connect to the Eibishter, and we can fix our chesreines and our avedis through Torah, through Tefillah, dafke through tzedakah. And when we give tzedakah and taka with eifin and mesiras nefesh, we save us of all kinds of trouble. And as we learned in the previous Geras HaKedesh, it gives us pashat gili alakus. You give tzedakah, it's easy to serve the Eibishter. So Alter Rebbe begins the Geras HaKedesh to say, my beloved brothers and friends, Asher kenafshi, I love you like myself. Basi, I am coming. Kemas kirume like one who is reminding and arousing. Yeshainim, those who are sleeping, betir des heavily havolah. Betir demas, in the slumber of frivolousness, of substanceless stuff. And to open up the eyes of the blind. Yabitu, leaders, they should look and see. That what they'll discover is that kol yisham v'chevtzam u'magamosam, that all of their turnings, like vayisha Hashem, all of their aspirations and their desires and their wants, lakel behem, including all of them. Lakel behem is to include in them chay yerucham, the life of their spirit, b'meker mayim chayim, in the root of the living waters, which is chay hachayim der Eibishter. In other words, that they should see to it that every aspect of their Gashmizdika life should be lakel behem, it's in the word of scholars, to be included in eloquence. That kol yemei chayim, that all the days of the lives, nefesh v'adbasa, from the spirit till the flesh, should be to be included in the Eibishter. Dahainu, in other words, that kol milad yalma, all material things, and they're involved in trying to make a living, to feed themselves. It shouldn't be like such people. The Avdin Lagamaya do it only for themselves, for their own Gashmizdika needs. Because, as the Gemara says of Perek Aleph, that even the tzedakah of a goy is Lagarmayu. Certainly what he keeps for himself is Lagarmayu. But Beis Yisrael, Yidden should not be Ku'umis Ha'elam. Every time it says in Tanya, the Avedas Gelulim, it's a tikkun, it's a Shina Lashon because of the censorship. So it's Umis Ha'elam, Goyim. The Don and that they sustain and they support and they love their wives and children, from what's called in Torah selfish love. And Yidden are not like that. Who was like Yidden, like the Eibishter's nation Yidden, that are goy echad ba'aretz, that they're a goy, a nation that is also echad, they're also involved in Achas Hashem when it comes to material things. Ksiv, as the pasuk says, Dahainu. This means shagam benyanei eretz, even when it comes to material things, le yafridu, they should not separate, or yipardu, they shouldn't become separated. From the one truth, God forbid. But rather, their Gashmis is also serving the Eibishter. And the Alter Rebbe describes it quite clearly in Tanya Perek Lamed Dalet, that when you give away whatever you're giving away, everything else is uplifted to Avodas Hashem, and you use your food and your Gashmis to serve Hashem and so forth. Okay. Let me read those words again, okay? Shagam b'inyanei eretz, and even when it comes to Gashmis, la yafridu or yipardu, they should not separate or become separate, me'echad emet chas v'shalom, from the Eibishter. Lahoyed, to testify, Eidus Sheker Chas V'Shalom, a false witness, B'kriyishma, when they say Shema. In other words, it's possible for a person to say Shema and to be a liar. That they say Shema, Taka Erev Abeker, by night and by day, B'inaim Seguras, with their eyes closed. And when they say Havaya Echad, the Eibishter is Echad, and the Aleph goes on the Eibishter, and the Ches goes in the seven heavens and the earth, and the Dal goes on Badal Druches in the four sides of the world, Uba Shemayim Imal, the heavens above, Uba Aretz Mitachas, and the world below, which is of course the Ches. And when you say Echad, you in fact believe there's nothing besides for the Eibishter. Even when you open up the eyes of the blind, you blink your eyes, the Eibishter disappears. The idea that everything to the Eibishter goes away, and instead, Gashmis is real. And when Gashmis becomes a thing unto itself, it's like Eilam, that's like Armayo. Says the Alter Rebbe b'meile. The more Gashmis you have, the harder it is to serve the Eibishter. Because the Kavanah of a Yid is to make his Gashmis into Avedis Hashem in every Nekuda. And this is going to benefit us, lihiyes, or bihiyes, when it will be, or that it should be. That, in other words, we should be Yidden, as we're supposed to be. There shouldn't be the selfish element of the Garmayu. That kol askein of mildiyam, all of our preoccupation in material things, leili Garmayu, there shouldn't be a selfishness in it, but rather lahachif nafshis, to give life to the souls of chelki alakus, the parts of godliness, or the malis machsereim, to fulfill their needs, their lacks, bechesed chinam, with a kindness which is altruistic. Chinam, I'm not going to get anything back for it. In other words, when we give tzedakah to other people, and we give the tzedakah on a level of chesed chinam shabazed, that through this on a madam and total yetzer, we compare our neshama to the Eibishter. And the Shem Echad Eibishter, God Almighty, Asher Chesed, Keil Kol Hayim, that the Eibishter does a kindness. Chesed means kindness. Keil means he reveals it all day long. And by the Eibishter, of course, it's Chesed Shel Emes. What's that Chesed Shel Emes? Hashem is doing a kindness, and the only reason to do it is Emes. He's going to get nothing in return for it. To give life to this world and everything in it every second. And therefore, when a person gives tzedakah, and especially when there's not going to be anything reciprocal, he's not going to get anything back. That's the even Chesed Emes. Rak, it's nar. He has to support his wife, he has to support his children. And that becomes the priority, that becomes first in tzedakah. But the kavanah has to be not because I love them like a behemoth, I love them like a goy, I love them on a selfish level, but this itself is Avedis Hashem. And if we do it in a selfish way, then we're like Umes Ha'elam, the Zonen, Upanesan, Umekin, Linishayu, Ubenayu, Me'ava, which is Legarmayu. The Rebbe says, our Gashmi is the life has to be Avedis Hashem. Right? You know the Bavusta Sipa with a Pelish Rebbe, who lost one of his children on Shabbos. And on Shabbos he didn't cry, he didn't. And after Shabbos he became so hysterical he couldn't be calmed. Everybody saw that he was much too emotional. It didn't make sense. Absolutely klepnished. So he said to the Rebbe, why are you so upset? He says, I'm upset. How come it bothers me more that it's my child who died than somebody else's? Zu sagen das, na halten bei dem, das ist a Madrege von Tzadikim Gemurah. But then the Alter Rebbe is saying, the Gashmi is over here, so even when you're Mefanos, your family, it's part of Avedis Hashem. The Rebbe is saying in the footnote, he brings from Bacha Nikolaev, Ishtay Ubana of Kaid Malakai Lapia Teda, your wife and your children come before everybody else Lapia Teda, except for Tzadikim. Chutz me Tzadikim Shabbat, Shem Kaid Malabana, the Tzadikim of the generation come before your own children. Okay, the Tzadikim Shabbat Yisrael, Kaid Mal Tzadikim Shabbat Chutzlar, Tzadikim in Yisrael come even before Tzadikim in Chutzlar. Lavad Mizeh, in addition to the fact that this was written by Chayef and a Mendel al Adaket. The Rebbe says they're greater than any tzaddikim in Chutzlaretz, so that the Gedeli Ador, so the tzedakah of tzaddikim comes before the tzedakah of your own family. You know, the Bavram Parij used to say that there should be silk blinds in the Rebbe's house is more important than your children should have shoes. It's a madreg of his kashrus. You know, so the Rebbe says it also that the tzaddikim's gashmis comes before our own gashmis. The Rebbe said that you should support this tzedakah of Eretz Yisrael.